On June 18, 2003, a small commercial plane took off from Cape Town, South Africa, bound for Johannesburg. Among the passengers was a man who identified himself as Peter Bergmann, an Irish traveler in his early 50s. He wore a dark trench coat and carried a leather suitcase. He was alone, quiet, and barely spoke to anyone. But from the moment he arrived at the airport, his behavior was strange. Security cameras captured him wandering the terminal, glancing over his shoulder, as if checking whether someone was following him. Multiple times, he entered a restroom carrying his suitcase and exited without it. Yet, he never appeared to dispose of anything. Even stranger, when he finally boarded, he had a different carry-on bag. A flight with one less passenger. The flight took off without issues. Peter barely interacted with the crew, spending most of the trip staring out the window. He didn't eat. He didn't speak. He just watched the sky. Then, at the final stretch of the flight, something impossible happened. As the plane began its descent, the flight crew performed a final check. When they reached Peter's row, his seat was empty. Assuming he had gone to the lavatory, they waited. But after several minutes, the bathroom door remained locked. Upon landing, they opened it. He wasn't there. Inside, they found his trench coat neatly folded on a hook, and his bag placed against the wall. No signs of struggle. No clues on how he could have vanished. A mystery with no answers. South African authorities launched an immediate investigation. First, they checked the passenger list. Peter Bergmann's name was there. His ticket was scanned at the gate. His passport was verified at security. But when they reviewed the airport surveillance footage, they discovered something deeply disturbing. Peter Bergmann was seen inside the terminal, but there was no footage of him boarding the plane. How was that possible? His seat was occupied at the start of the flight. His name was registered. And yet, there was no evidence that he ever stepped onto that aircraft. It gets even stranger when investigators searched records in South Africa and Ireland. They found nothing. No legal records. No official documents. No real identity. The name Peter Bergmann was completely fake. This man had arrived out of nowhere. And somehow, he vanished just the same. Theories behind the disappearance. To this day, no one knows what happened to the passenger who disappeared mid-flight. But there are theories. Escape plan. Some believe he used a fake identity to flee from someone, and that he found a way to jump from the plane. But how? No emergency doors were opened. The windows were too small. And no passengers or crew members saw anything. Did he ever board? Another theory suggests that Peter never got on the plane at all, that someone else sat in his seat for part of the flight, creating the illusion that he was there. But for this to work, someone in the airline or airport would have needed to help cover it up. A government experiment? Some believe his disappearance was part of a classified experiment. Others think something supernatural happened. But no theory fully explains how a man could simply vanish from a locked airplane. What do you think happened? This case remains one of aviation's greatest unsolved mysteries. So now, I ask you. Was Peter Bergmann an escape artist? A victim of something bigger? Or did he step into the unknown?